Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today this video will be about Knott's Berry Farm's 100 year anniversary. Now this will be my first Knott's Berry Farm video of this channel, and there will be more Knott's Berry Farm content videos in the near future. So as you all know that Knott's Berry Farm will be celebrating 100 years at the park on which they will be having a celebration starting from May 15th until at least August 30th, 2020. And so, what they're going to be having for Knott's Berry Farm, they're going to be having a new attraction that's going to be open by the time the 100th anniversary starts. Which there's an attraction called Iron Reef that's currently in the boardwalk area. It's one of the lands at Knott's Berry Farm, and they will be reimagining it into the Knott's Berry Tales, which it used to be a dark ride at Knott's Berry Farm, which it was called Knott's Berry Tales, which it opened since around the late 60s until the early 80s, until it got replaced by a second dark ride called Dinosaur Kingdom until at least 2005. That would also close down, and then after 10 years of sitting there empty, they finally put a 4D shooting attraction called Iron Reef, and now today it will be replaced by Knott's Berry Tales. Um, in 4D this time, and they'll be coming back to Knott's Berry Farm, and and it will be opening this summer for the 100th anniversary for Knott's Berry Farm. The third thing that what Knott's Berry Farm will also be getting for the 100th anniversary, they'll be having some food and other special merchandise and everything for the 100th anniversary, and I think they'll probably have some memorabilia stuff of some of the attractions and some of the other stuff that used to be at Knott's Berry Farm years ago. Plus, they're going to be having like a summer night, like every night. They're going to be having like live entertainment, food, and photo opportunities, and all that type of stuff. So it's going to be mainly located in the boardwalk area. And then the third, they're going to be having Ghost Town Alive, where they're going to have all the Peekins and everything in Ghost Town, which you're going to be seeing all kinds of sheriffs and cowboys and other outlaws and everything, and people who live in the town come all to life with real people and everything. They started that experience since 2016, and it became really hugely successful. And they start doing it every summer in the every year in the summertime. So that's really good that they're going to be bringing it back for the 100th anniversary this summer for Knott's Berry Farm. And of course, Knott's Berry Farm also recently, yesterday, opened Build-A-Bear's Workshop in the marketplace area right by the Chicken Dinner House. And of course, according to Build-A-Bear's Workshop, they did say they will not be selling like Disney merchandise stuff because they do licenses with Disney making teddy bears and all that stuff. And they did say there won't be a Baby Yoda teddy bear that will be sold at Knott's Berry Farm. So they pretty much want all the Star Wars and the Disney stuff things out of the property and everything, and not sell it in that Build-A-Bear's Workshop location. And of course, as with that, Knott's Berry Farm, I gotta really say, does have really great history throughout its years. It first started out by selling berries in the stand in 1920 when Cordelia and Walter Knott, which they were the founders of Knott's Berry Farm, and they just moved from the Mojave Desert, moved out here to Buena Park in Orange County, California, and to start a new life. And then when the reception happened, they survived, and they had people that were living on their property and everything that were working for them. And so Walter Knott invented a new berry from a guy named Boysen. That was his last name, and I can't really remember his first name, but he created the berry and decided to name it the Boysenberry, named after the guy who owned a berry field next to Walter Knott's property. And so that, of course, that's when the Boysenberry was born. It was born at Knott's Berry Farm, created by Walter Knott, and here it is. The Boysenberry is one of the most famous berries out there ever, and it's one of the most famous treats to ever try at Knott's Berry Farm. Like the Boysenberry punch that they have, which you can get them like almost everywhere at every single restaurant. The boysenberry pie, boysenberry jam, which you can find them at your local grocery store and everything. It's really cool. And then by the mid 1930s, after selling all kinds of stuff like pies and jams and all that stuff, and customers want more food, and Cordelia at first did not want to really go into the restaurant business, but she finally decided on her winning China, and when she had her fried chicken dinner, the people who were first served to have it really loved it, and as the words got spread quickly and everything, it became really popular. And there were a bunch of people waiting outside, waiting for their tables to be served, ready to have their fried chicken dinner. And so the family decided they would just open up like a gift shop and open other things like a bakery and all that stuff to keep the people busy before their table gets served and everything before they get called in. And that didn't really help that much. So Walter Knott builds this exhibit that's still there to this day. It's a very well hidden gem in Knott's Berry Farm. He recreated George Washington, our first president of the United States' fireplace. And so by the 1940s came around, before America entered in World War II, Walter Knott decided he wanted to recreate a ghost town, a western ghost town area, to keep the people entertained uh, before they get called in to have their meal at the chicken dinner house. And it became really popular. And as right after World War II, they continued to add on to Ghost Town. And by the time it was the 50s, things were starting to change at Knott's Berry Farm. They um, started at least adding on like new attractions. They brought in a train, they brought in stagecoach, a carousel ride, they brought in all kinds of other attractions. And as Disneyland opened, they continued to just add on to the property. Then the 60s was a new I would say a new beginning for them, that they were starting to build some two classic attractions for them. One, they built the Calico mine train. It's still there to this day, along with other attractions that are still remaining at Knott's Berry Farm to this day. And then second, that in 1969 they opened up the world's first themed log ride. That is the Timber Mountain Log Ride, which is still there to this day, and it's one of the most popular attractions at Knott's Berry Farm. And that's where Walt Disney Imagineering got the inspiration idea um, for Splash Mountain. That was the log ride at Knott's Berry Farm. All thanks to Tony Baxter, who actually was at opening day while he was in college learning how to be a theme park designer, and that's when he later would become a Disney Imagineer. And so he went to it, and there was a picture of him that they showed in this documentary video that's on YouTube on their channel for Knott's Berry Farm, where they were talking about the history of the log ride, and they interviewed him, and it was really neat. And yeah, he did say that was the idea where they decided they would bring it to Disneyland to bring a log ride that would be Splash Mountain. So that's really cool. Then by the 70s, Cordelia Knott passes away, and then Walter Knott's kids took over the business. Then a decade later, Walter Knott passed away. The family continued to run the business. They continued to add on to the park and everything. They were adding a bunch of roller coasters. They were bringing a lot of people into the park. They were adding thrill rides. They had a lot of things. And then so by 1995, they sold it to Caesar Fair, the family itself, and now today Caesar's Fair now owns it, and it's now one of their most profitable theme parks in North America in the company's history. And and for that, originally, before they sold it off to Caesar's Fair, Disney was actually planning to buy Knott's Berry Farm, but the family itself, Knott's Berry Farm, the family itself, didn't want it to sell it to Disney, because Disney wanted to turn it into Disney's America, which they were planning to build an American theme park that was all dedicated to the American history and the culture and everything. They were originally going to put it over in Virginia, but everybody in Virginia was against the idea and everything, and so they looked down here on the West Coast, and yeah, and so they wanted to buy Knott's Berry Farm for that, but the Knott's family didn't want it to, because was disrespecting the legacy of Walter and Cordelia Knott's legacy of what they started at Knott's Berry Farm. So that was the big main reason. And so yeah, and who knows what's going to happen for the future of Knott's Berry Farm. There's a lot of speculations out there. Like I heard that they're planning to probably expand Calico, Ghost Town area. That's what it's called. Or actually, it's not called Calico. Ghost Town, actually. So they're thinking about expanding Ghost Town by like probably adding more attractions. We don't know what those attractions could be. It could be a new roller coaster. It could be a new dark ride or whatever they're probably bringing into the area. So who really knows what they'll look at in the future? And who knows, maybe Boardwalk could be expanded. Certain other areas could get new attractions at Knott's Berry Farm, so we'll see about that. So I'll probably have a video about that where I'll talk about more about the future of Knott's Berry Farm sometime. Alrighty, so thank you so much, everybody. I hope you enjoy this video. Are you guys looking forward to the 100 year of anniversary of Knott's Berry Farm? If you do, let me know in the comments below. And if you really enjoy this channel, you can hit the subscribe button to watch more videos and to see some of my new videos that will be uploaded soon. And as always, thank you, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.